Our focus for this video is differentiating trig functions. Now, we are going to look at differentiating a sine function, differentiating a cos function, and differentiating a tangent function. So let's look at differentiating a sine function first. Now you need to understand the rule. So the rule for differentiating a sine function states that if y is equal to sine kx, then dy by dx is equal to, you differentiate kx, that gives you k, take that to multiply the differential of sine kx, so differential of sine kx equals to cos kx. So that's it, right? So let me just walk you through the rule again. If you have a function y is equal to sine kx and you want to differentiate this function with respect to x, then dy by dx is equal to k cos kx. Where did I get this k from? You differentiate what's inside of this bracket. So if you differentiate kx, that gives you k. And then you take that to multiply by the differential of sine kx. If you differentiate sine kx, that gives you cos kx. So let's look at an example. Let's say you have y is equal to sine x, right? And you want to differentiate this. Then dy by dx is equal to, differentiate x, that's just 1. Differentiate sine x, that's just cos x, so you cos x. So it's just 1 times cos x, which is just the same thing as just cos x, right? Now, let's look at another one. Let's say you have y is equal to sine 3x, right? And you are asked to differentiate this. Then dy by dx is equal to, you differentiate 3x, that gives you 3. Take that to multiply by the differential of sine 3x. Differentiate sine 3x, that gives you cos 3x. And that's it. Let's look at another one. Let's say that you have y is equal to 3 sine 4x, right? And you want to differentiate this, then dy by dx is equal to, differentiate 4x, that gives you 4. Take that 4 to multiply 3, so it is 4 times 3, that gives you 12, times the differential of sine 4x. When you differentiate sine 4x, that gives you cos 4x. And that's it. And then let's look at another one. Let's say you have y is equal to sine x squared. And you are asked to differentiate that. Then dy by dx is equal to, differentiate x squared, that gives you 2x, times, and this dot here means times, differentiate sine x squared, that gives you cos x squared. So that's it, right? Let's look at one more. Let's say you have y is equal to sine 2x cubed, right? And you're asked to differentiate this with respect to x. Then dy by dx is equal to, differentiate what's inside of the bracket, which is 2x cubed. If you differentiate 2x cubed using the power rule, that gives you, you're going to take the power, which is 3, to multiply the 2 here. So 3 times 2, that gives you 6. Put back here x, subtract 1 from 3, that gives you 2. Then differentiate sine 2x cubed. So if you differentiate sine 2x cubed, that gives you cos. That gives you cos 2x cubed. And that's it. Remember that these are multiplying each other. So that's how you would use the the sine rule to differentiate a function, right? So now we are going to look at how we differentiate a cos function. So let me give you the rule first. If y is equal to cos kx, right? And they are asked to differentiate this with respect to x, then write it out. Then dy by dx is equal to minus k sine kx. Right? That's the rule. Let me just explain this rule some more. You might ask, where did I get this k from? Where did I get this minus from? Now, when I differentiate cosx or sin x, when you differentiate cosx, that gives you minus sin x. So that's where that minus comes from. When I differentiate inside of this bracket, which is kx, you get k. So that's where the k comes from. Now let's look at some examples. Let's say you have y is equal to cos x, and they are asked to differentiate this. Then dy by dx is equal to minus sine x. That's it. Because when you differentiate x, you get 1. So it is just. And then when you differentiate cos x, that does give you minus sine. And 1 times anything does give you back itself there. So let's look at another example. Let's say you have y is equal to cos 2x, right? They are asked to differentiate this. Then dy by dx is equal to, you differentiate 2x, that gives you 2. Take that 2 to multiply the differential of cos 2x. So if you differentiate cos 2x, that gives you minus sine. I'm going to put the minus in front of the 2 here and put sine 2x. And that's it. Let's look at another one. Let's say you have y is equal to 3 cos 3x. Yeah, ask differentiate this, right? When then dy by dx is equal to, you differentiate what's inside of the bracket, which is 3x, you get 3. You're going to take that 3 to multiply this 3 on the outside here. So 3 times 3 gives you 9. Now when you differentiate cos 3x, that gives you minus sine 3x. I'm going to put the minus in front of the 9 here and put the put the sine 3x here. Alright? And that's how you differentiate it. And note that minus 9 sine 3x means minus 9 times sine 3x. Alright? So let's look at another one. Our function, which is y, is equal to cos x squared. Right? And they are asked to differentiate this function with respect to x. Therefore, dy by dx is equal to, differentiate x squared. If you differentiate x squared, that gives you 2x. Take that to multiply, and this dot here means multiply. Take that to multiply the differential of cos x squared. So if you differentiate cos x squared, that gives you minus sine x squared. I'm going to put the minus in front of this 2x, and that gives, and put the sine x squared here. So that's it. Let's look at another one. Let's say that you have y is equal to 3. Let's use another number. 2 cos 2x squared. Right? And you are asked to differentiate this with respect to x. Then dy by dx is equal to, you differentiate 2x squared, that gives you 4x. Take that 4x to multiply this 2. So let me say that again. If you differentiate 2x squared, that gives you 4x, because you take 2 to multiply this 2, which is 4. Put back your x, give you 4x, subtract 1 from the power, which gives you just 4x to the 1. So that's just 4x. Take the 4x to multiply this 2, so that gives you 8x, because 4x times 2 gives you 8x. Then you differentiate cos 2x squared. If you differentiate cos 2x squared, that gives you minus sine 2x squared. I'm going to put the minus in front of the 8 here. Alright? And that would be your final answer. So if you are asked to differentiate a cos function, that is how you would use this rule to differentiate a cos function. Alright? So now we are going to look at how we differentiate a tangent function. So let me give you the rule first. So if y is equal to tan kx, right? And you are asked to differentiate this, then dy by dx is equal to differentiate what's inside of the bracket, which is kx, that gives you k. Differentiate tan kx, that gives you secant squared kx, which can be written as sec squared, which is sec squared kx. Alright? So that's it. So this is the rule that you use to differentiate tangent function, right? So let's look at some example. Let's say I have y is equal to tan x, right? And you are asked to differentiate this with respect to x, then dy by dx is equal to, differentiate x, that does give you 1. Use the 1 to multiply the differential of tan x, but 1 times anything will give you but the same thing. So I don't have to write that one there. So differentiate tan x, that does give you secant squared x. That's it. Right? Let's look at another problem. Let's say we have y is equal to tan 2x. Right? And you are asked to differentiate that with respect to x, then dy by dx is equal to, differentiate 2x, that gives you 2 times, differentiate tan 2x, that gives you sec squared x squared 2x, sorry. And that's it. Let's look at another problem. Let's say you have y is equal to 4 tan 3x, right? And you are asked to differentiate that. Then dy by dx is equal to, differentiate what's inside of the bracket here, which is 3x, that gives you 3. Take that 3 to multiply the coefficient of tan here, which is 4. So 3 fourths is 12 times, differentiate tan 3x, that gives you sec squared 3x. And that's it there. So let's look at another example. So y is equal to tan x cubed. Right? They are asked to differentiate this with respect to x. Then dy by dx is equal to, differentiate x cubed, that gives you 3x squared. Differentiate tan x cubed, that gives you sec squared x cubed. Let's look at another example here. Let's say that you have y is equal to 5 tan 7x, right? And you are asked to differentiate it. Then dy by dx is equal to, differentiate 7x, that gives you 7. Take that 7 to multiply by 5, that gives you 35. Differentiate tan 7x, that gives you sec squared 7x. And that's it.